So, yeah, moving on to your next song, Freedom.
Freedom. Freedom was probably one of my, I think when I put Freedom out, I was expecting people to be like, oh, this is a little bit different. Because, I mean, up until then, all the songs that I had released had been, pretty, like, upbeat, more aggressive tunes. And so when I put out Freedom, I was really excited to see how people were going to react to that. And the story behind Freedom is just that I have a huge love and respect for our veterans, our military, our first responders. And I was sitting around with, the co-writers for this song. And it's interesting to me because we were sitting there talking and everyone in the room said we all had very different views, political views, views on the world, beliefs, all that stuff. We all were very different in what we believed, but we were all sitting around talking about what, like, it is to live in America and, talking about freedom and talking about the freedom that we have. And as we all sat around with our different views, we could all agree on a couple things. And that was that the fact that we're all able to sit here and write a song together, regardless of what we believe, is freedom. That in itself is freedom. And talking about all the little things that, start off feeling like freedom, like when you're 16, driving your dad's truck for the first time, and gives you the keys and, you're driving by yourself. And, like we were talking about high school football games and talking about, even all the way up to like, just having a good time with your friends and first love, first kiss, and then going into like realizing that there's people out there fighting for our freedom and people out there, sacrificing their lives and their families, sacrificing their comfort and, loving somebody that's out there doing this thing and knowing that they're out there fighting for our freedom, even though they don't even know who we are, and they don't know everybody. And so it's kind of like the thing that we were sitting around talking about is like, regardless of what we all believe, there's one thing we can all agree on. And that is the fact that we can do what we're doing right now is freedom. And that's why we started writing that song. We started talking about those things that feel like freedom. And that's how Freedom was born.
Yeah. It is a beautiful song, and I may or may not have gotten all misty-eyed at the end of the video when the crowd parts and the guy in the uniform. And
that was probably the funnest video I've ever shot. It was such a blast, and that was the first music video I've ever done, and it was just so awesome. And I think with Freedom, there being a story behind the song, it's kind of like getting to put that story to life was just like really cool, and I'm really glad we got to shoot that video.
How long did it take?
It was a 2-day shoot, which honestly, that was literally, I don't know how we pulled that off, because literally right after we finished filming, just complete downpour. And Texas weather, right? Like just complete downpour. Like right after that scene, like the last scene was like the homecoming scene, when the crowd parts and stuff. And that was literally like the last scene. And right after that, we all were like packing stuff up, and it just downpour. I was like, the fact that we pulled that off in 2 days with the weather, we were so worried, and it just like, it worked so well. But the planning behind it was probably about like a month and a half, and just leading up to it. And we shot it out here in Texas. And it was really cool because I got to shoot it kind of like in the area that I live, and so I got to have a lot of my like family friends be in the video, and it was so fun. I loved it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was wondering if that was like, if those were people that you knew, or if you had to like hire extras or something.
No, those are all people that I knew and people that just came out for the video. It's really cool because I've been involved with the veteran community out in Montgomery, Texas, around Conroe area. And I've gone and done a couple events, saying like the anthem or saying like America the Beautiful for some of these events, like for the veterans. And so when I was going to film the video, it was kind of cool. I was talking with the director of the facility, and I was like, hey, I would love to have some veterans in this video. And so all these veterans came out. It was the coolest thing. So getting to have some actual veterans there and from the area, and they were like having a blast. And because the concert that we put on there, like in the video, it was real. Like we had the band and we were just like playing, and it was really fun. So
yeah, it was very nice of you guys to honor them and be able to include them in such an important video with a very, very powerful message.
Yeah, I really
Um,
wanted it to be authentic.